I'm Ms. Vuong. Today we're going to look at implied domain or maximum domain. So implied domain or maximal domain mean the same thing. They are the largest domain for which the rule or the relation makes sense. So for example, say we have the square root over x. So the biggest domain that can have is all the positive numbers. So domain is the x values. So it can have 0, it can have 1, it can have 10, it can have a lot, but it cannot have negative values. So our domain, maximal domain or implied domain, is between 0 and infinity. So the way you think about this is, what is the domain, the biggest domain I can have? Now you look at the graph and you think, what are all the x values I can have? And that's your maximal or implied domain. So the word implied means, even if I don't tell you what the domain is, you should know that that's what I mean. So implied. So what's the range for this one? Well, it's between 0 and it keeps going on and on and on and on. So it's between 0 and positive infinity. Let's do another example. What about the square root of 5 and then minus x? So here we have a negative square root function going that way. And we can see that we can have all the negative x values all the way up to 5. So that is our implied domain or maximal domain. I'm just saying these words so you're familiar with it. They mean the same thing. So negative infinity to 5, and the range, we can see that it's between, what's the smallest y value? 0, and it keeps going on and on and on. So positive infinity. Let's do another example. Y equals square root of 4 minus x squared plus 1. Here we can recognize it is a semicircle with the center at 0, 1 because it has been moved up by 1. That 4 is the radius squared. So the radius is 2. So let's sketch that. So it's a semicircle that's been moved up by 1 with a radius of 2. And we can see from this sketch that the domain is between negative 2 and 2 inclusive. That is our maximum domain or implied domain. And we can also see the range is between 1 and 3 inclusive. Another example, what about negative 2 over x plus 1? This is a rectangular hyperbola with asymptotes being moved left to the 1. So the vertical asymptote is now at x equals negative 1. It hasn't been moved up and down, so the horizontal asymptote is still at y equals 0. You make sure that you put that asymptote in. So sketching the negative graph will be here and here. And so we have one intercept, so just plot that in if you have time. But let's have a look at the domain and range. The domain is between negative infinity to all the way to positive infinity, except for we're not allowed to have x equals minus 1. So remember what the symbol was for except or not. So everything but not, so that symbol there, negative 1. Similarly for the range, we have everything except for y equals 0. So everything but not 0. One last example. Let's sketch x minus 3 squared plus y squared equals 4. We'll recognize that this is a circle. If you've forgotten circles, please watch that video again. You need to know this. This has been moved to the right by 3, and that's the radius of square root of that, which is 2. So the center is at 3, 0, and the radius is 2. So let's sketch that. And how did I come up with these 4 black dots? Because the radius is 2, then we go from the center and we move to the right by 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5, to the left by 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. And then we go up by 2, so 0 plus 2 is 2, and down by 2, 0 minus 2 is minus 2. So we can see the domain, the x value is between 1 and 5, inclusive, because it's a circle, it's touching it. And the range, be very careful you read the right number, so it's minus 2 to 2, inclusive. That's it from me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!